Welcome.
Welcome to the Everything podcast, and this is episode I'm going to be reviewing the Doctor Who Season 1 finale titled Empire of Death. But before I get there, we have the cast list. So we have the Doctor, played by Ncuti Gatwa, Ruby Sunday, played by Minna Gibson, Kate Lethbridge-Stewart, played by Gemma Redgrave, Melanie Bush, played by Bonnie Langford, Susan Triad, played by Susan Twist, Rose Noble, played by Yasmin Finney, Harriet, played by Genesis Lenier, Maurice Gibbons, played by Lenny Rush, Colonel Ibrahim as Alex Devrient, Corporal Sullivan, played by Jasmine Bays, Mrs. Flood, played by Anita Dobson, Carla Sunday, played by Michelle Greenidge, Cherry Sunday, played by Angela Winter, Kind Woman, played by Sian Clifford, The Vlinks, played by Adrian Cook, and the voice of The Vlinks, played by Nicholas Briggs. The writer of Empire of Death was Russell T Davies, and the director was Jamie Donahue. Here is the synopsis. The Doctor has lost. His ageless enemy remains supreme, and his shadow is falling over creation. Nothing can stop the devastation, except perhaps one woman. Empire of Death was released on the 22nd of June 2024 at 12 AM GMT. My previous episode is I loved that Ruby finally got to meet her birth mother. Like the trio of the Doctor, Ruby and Mel, I enjoyed seeing the Doctor defeat Sutekh. Without further ado, here is my review for the Doctor Who Season 1 finale, Empire of Death. We have a previous recap and the title sequence. Mel saves the Doctor from being killed by Susan Triad. The Doctor asks everyone in the room to evacuate. Sutekh uses sand to kill almost everyone in the room. The Doctor and Mel ride a motorbike to escape Susan Triad. Harriet kills the Vlinks. Rose, Colonel Ibrahim, Maurice and Kate. All of the bus's passengers run off the bus. A taxi crashes. Taxi crashes. Sorry, I forgot what I was up to there. Sutekh kills Mrs. Flood, Cherry and Carla. The Doctor discovers the memory TARDIS as shown in Tales of the TARDIS, which in the last episode I actually reviewed the Pyramids of Mars episode of him because it was released that day. The Doctor gets Ruby to remember the TARDIS so that the memory TARDIS re-materialises. Sutekh appears in front of the Doctor, Ruby and Mel. The Doctor introduces Ruby to Sutekh. A scene from Pyramids of Mars is shown. The Doctor remembers how he defeated Sutekh. Sutekh reveals since its first encounter with the Doctor, it has attached itself to the TARDIS, even travelling with the Doctor since then. So that was 1975. So for 49 years, and all the adventures that will have been from that. So this would be all of the adventures of the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th War Doctor, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, and now 15th Doctors, all of their adventures. Yes, Harriet is controlling the Doctor's TARDIS. Sutekh mentions the episode's title, which, as I've mentioned, is Empire of Death. The Doctor works out that Sutekh invented Susan Triad, appearing in each of his recent adventures. The Doctor stands up to Sutekh. The Doctor calls himself an extinction event. Mel, Ruby and the Doctor enter the memory TARDIS. Mel finds the costume of one of her doctors she'd travelled with. So Mel, originally played by Bonnie Langford, originally played both the 6th and 7th Doctors, so that is Colin Baker and Sylvester McCoy. The Doctor pilots the memory TARDIS. Mel finds the 13th Doctor's sonic screwdriver. Ruby and Mel help the Doctor stabilise the memory TARDIS. The Doctor reminds Ruby of their first adventure together as shown in the Church of Ruby Road. The Doctor tells Ruby about the TARDIS's perception filter. Ruby and the Doctor both mention 73 Yards, which is the title of Season 1 Episode 4, which was the episode where the Doctor was in it. Was barely in it. Yeah, was in it for a minute or so, like and it was a very Ruby-led episode. Ruby learns that Carla is dead. The Doctor mentions the TV movie The Time Meddler and Rose. Yes, so that's Rose, right? That's Rose, the episode, so the first episode in the 2005 series, featuring Christopher Eccleston as the Ninth Doctor and Billie Piper as Rose Tyler. That's Rose, the episode, not Rose Noble, played by Yasmin Finney, and not Rose Tyler, played by Billie Piper. The Doctor learns that every single Dalek is dead. The Doctor blames himself for Sutekh destroying the universe. Mel and Ruby reassure the Doctor that this isn't true. The Doctor screams. Ruby and Mel calm down the Doctor. Sutekh and Susan try to discuss the Doctor and Ruby. The Doctor asks a woman for some metal and is given a spoon. This woman's daughter is dead. This woman mentions her husband to the Doctor. This woman dies. The Doctor returns to the memory TARDIS. The Doctor uses the spoon to reactivate a device. The Doctor explains the Fourth Doctor and Sarah Jane to Ruby. The Doctor tells Ruby that he and Mel used to travel together. Mel forgets some of her adventures with the Doctor. The Doctor works out that, like him and Ruby, Sutekh doesn't know who Ruby's birth mother is. The Doctor reminds Ruby that she is human. Sutekh mind controls Mel. The Doctor introduces Ruby to Roger A. William, which is the villain of 73 Yards. Ruby and the Doctor find a way to figure out the identity of Ruby's birth mother. The Doctor finds a whistle. Ruby, Mel and the Doctor land in 2046. The Doctor asks Mel to keep an eye out for anyone, whilst he and Ruby attempt to discover the identity of Ruby's birth mother. The Doctor uses a device to obtain Ruby's DNA, which he inserts into a sonic screwdriver to search for Ruby's birth mother. It starts to snow in the room Ruby and the Doctor are in. Mel, under the control of Sutekh, threatens the Doctor. Evil Mel, the Doctor and Ruby arrive in Unit HQ. Sutekh mind controls the Doctor, forcing him to be unable to move. Ruby and the Doctor trick Sutekh. Ruby attaches some rope to Sutekh with some assistance from Rarity Gloves, first seen in the 2023 Christmas special, titled The Church of Ruby Road, which is the first full episode featuring the 15th Doctor and the introduction for Ruby Sunday. The Doctor regains control of his TARDIS with the whistle. Sutekh, now attached to the TARDIS, is dragged through the time vortex. The Doctor forces Sutekh to resurrect everyone it killed. Mel, Susan Triad and Morris raise the Blinks. Colonel Ibrahim and Kate wake up, as does Colonel Josie, who was seen in the last episode, season 1, episode 7, The Legend of Ruby Sunday. Carla, Mrs. Flood and Cherry wake up. Ruby helps the Doctor pilot the TARDIS. Sutekh is killed. Kate recruits Susan to join unit. Colonel Ibrahim insults Susan's tea-making ability. Carla thanks the Doctor for bringing Ruby back safe. Ruby, with the assistance of unit, finally discovers the identity of her birth mother. Ruby's birth mother's name is Louise. Kate tells Ruby Louise's life post abandoning her at the Church of Ruby Road. The Doctor reveals that Louise named her The Doctor reveals that Louise named Ruby Ruby. The Doctor tells Ruby more about Louise. Ruby orders a coffee and introduces herself to Louise. Louise meets Carla and Cherry. Ruby says goodbye to the Doctor. The Doctor thanks Ruby for getting him to be open about his granddaughter Susan. Mrs. Flood explains how Ruby got her happy ending being reunited with her birth mother, and Mrs. Flood promises that the Doctor's story will end with terror. That is my review of Doctor Who Season 1, Episode 8, the Season 1 finale, titled Empire of Death. And I just want to thank you all for watching all of my Doctor Who Season 1 reviews. Obviously, obviously that's pause on Doctor Who for a while, because the next episode will be Christmas special, so that probably won't be coming out until January, I would imagine, because it's Christmas Day and I won't be doing podcast stuff those days, I wouldn't imagine, but we'll see. Obviously, like with all the episodes, I try to get it out as quick as possible, and then obviously we've got another 8 episodes in the 2025 season, which we would assume would be around this time of the year again, but that's for the future. And again, thank you for watching all of the Doctor Who Season 1 reviews, and there will be a compilation coming out soonish of all of my reviews for Doctor Who Season 1. But if you want to find them now, there is a playlist called Doctor Who Season 1. Series 1 is slightly different. That's the one that I mentioned earlier, starring Christopher Eccleston and Billie Piper. But back to this episode, back to tomorrow's episode, which next time on the Everything Podcast, I will be reviewing one of your suggestions, that being June Part 2. Here is the trailer, or one of the trailers actually, for June Part 2. That was the trailer for Dune 2, which, as I mentioned, I'll be reviewing in the next episode of the podcast. But back to this episode, let me know in the comments below what you thought about Empire of Death and Doctor Who Season 1 as a whole, if you watched it, and my reviews. If you didn't, put your thoughts on those in the comments below, as well with anything else you want me to cover on the channel. It could be a TV show or movie suggestion, it could be a book, a comic, an article or whatever, or something completely different. Or even some news about your TV show or movie you want to talk about. Put those in the comments below as well. And remember, you can also like, comment and subscribe. And that's it for this episode of the Everything Podcast. Goodbye.